This is the story of a young man's life which spontaneously took a turn for the worse. The person you will see before you is George P. Hamlet, a second-year mechanical engineer attending Georgia Tech. Mr. Hamlet has miraculously been able to maintain a 4.0 GPA his entire college career, but that may soon change. Recently, George's favorite calc professor, Free A, was fired for allegedly not reporting multiple situations where cheating occurred. Professor A was replaced by a new educator at Tech, Professor Claude Diaz. Within 3 weeks, George had failed 2 quizzes and a test, a first for him. Despite the class average usually being a 23, Professor Diaz refuses to curve, causing George's grade in the class to drop dramatically. If George does not get a B in his calc class, he will surely lose his scholarship and be forced to drop out of school. Now we find him in the middle of non-stop studying, when he suddenly receives a message from his old professor. Let's watch what happens.
You are the only one that can help. What's this? Dear Mr. Hamlet, you're one of my brightest students and may be the only person left on campus that will listen and believe in my story. Your new professor has framed me. He hacked into my gradebook and changed around my test and quiz grades, then anonymously reported me and got me fired. You must expose him as the criminal he is. I hear that he is failing all of the students. You must stop him before this gets out of hand, but do not get yourself expelled in the process. This email will delete itself 10 minutes with it being opened to avoid linking you to me, your professor, Free A. Oh my God.
What you're saying is nonsense, Mr. Hamlet. Just because you're having a hard time in school doesn't mean you can blame the teacher. You need to come to understand it could be your quality of work.
No! My quality of work is fine. It's that evil professor that's the problem. Haven't you noticed a dip in grades throughout the class when this professor came in? Let me give you a little clue. It's not because we all magically became retards.
Mr. Hamlet, I ask that you watch your tone. I get paid to hear complaints like this all the time. You're not the first, there won't be, and you won't be the last. I think I know a little more about what's going on than you. You're acting irrational and erratic. You may find yourself in a lot of trouble if you continue down your path.
Well, if this is the path that will bring Claude to justice, I will march it. With an army, or with just my shadow.
Nice to see another student trying to get some help. Your name is?
Hamlet. George P. Hamlet.
And how can I help you, Mr. Hamlet?
What is this?
What do you mean? It's the last test. But you unfortunately seem to have failed.
This test was an F before I even began. It was only one question, and I googled the answer, and it's exactly what I have right here. Tell me what's wrong with it.
The problem wasn't the answer, you just merely didn't show enough work.
No, that's bull. The question was 1 plus 1. What work can be shown? No, I know everything. I know your secret, I know what you're doing, and I know you're going down for it.
Well, you certainly didn't get the correct answer. Janet, could you give us a second?
Sure.
Look, kid, I don't know who you are, but you need to calm down. Don't do anything rash. I'm here to teach you, not to bring you down. I don't know about any secrets you claim to know, but I know you're stressed. Just take a...
Professor A.
What?
I know you framed Professor A and got him fired.
What? That's insane. I think you need to leave. My office hours ended 5 minutes ago. Janet? This kid is insane. We need to work on getting him removed from the class before he stirs up trouble.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Is a life of inevitable failure worth living? Every action I take against this terrible man is one more step closer into my own grave. My only standing connections that tie me to this world are my honor and my loved ones. That is what keeps me driven. But do I want to destroy countless lives by engaging in battles when the war is already lost? If I were to choose to fly, I could end all of the pain and madness that will forever plague me. If I were to choose to bear arms, I could evolve into a martyr, saving others from the fate I consider at this very moment. Onlookers think I'm crazy, and I am. But so is this circumstance. I shall not fly. I shall use my wings to shield the ignorant. The pin was pulled and I will fall on the blast with Clyde clutching on my back. But how? How can I finish what should have never been started?
That should do it.
Mr. Hamlet, I've been meaning to contact you. I regret to inform you, you failed my last test, which means you won't be able to pass my class.
That's impossible.
And why is that? Because you clearly showed you do not know the material.
But I went to your TA study sessions and everything.
I don't remember seeing you there.
Well, I was. But I didn't listen to a thing you were saying because I realized you were telling all of us the wrong information. And I got it on tape, luckily.
Well, your crazy accusations aren't going to get you a passing grade.
Do you recognize this?
It's my answer sheet.
Yep. I hacked your computer last night and I got it. Then I used it to take your entire test. How do I fail when my test looks exactly like your answer key? I've already reported you and told them everything. Both of you will be out of here by tomorrow.
Alas, Professor Claude Diaz and the TA he influenced to work with him were thwarted. Claude was fired and promptly arrested, while the TA was expelled from the school. Here's where I say A got his job back and Hamlet began passing again. Right? Wrong. To cover this scandal, Georgia Tech refused to rehire Professor A and admit that he was framed. Hamlet was expelled for hacking into Georgia Tech property. A new professor who was very kind and fair to his students was hired. And the campus continued to live without our tragic hero or his mentor. The end.